back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
What up? What up? It is Dehjai.
And we're back. If you've never been here before, we do pop culture and real life and the cross section between the two. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of it, but we're gonna make it through. Today we are here to talk about young, famous, and African. I think that's the name.
Yep, you got it. You got it. You know, Netflix has been going crazy with these long ass names as of late.
And we're gonna start with the women of this show, and we're gonna do a separate episode for the men. So stay tuned for that one. Absolutely. Let's get started. Who you want to go?
So the show starts with Khanyi, and we're introduced to her as she talks about like her group of friends and her illustrious lifestyle, and they all are set in, I think, like Johannesburg or just South Africa in general, but I think it's in Johannesburg. I want
to say real quick before we get really into it, this show is so disjointed. Like, I was just like, why is it hopping around like this? Like, they weren't really finishing any of the stories, and they were just moving on. And it was just like they just kept moving on, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, I would turn my head for 1 second. Obviously, I watched this late at night because I'm a late night person, so I watched this late at night, and I was like, did I miss something? Like, I found myself rewinding a few times, like, did I miss something? No, I did not. They just made a jump. It was just a jump.
The biggest thing, as y'all know, if you watch the reality recap on Monday nights, your girl hates a bad wig.
Yes.
And like it was some wigs on this show. It was just like, why would you put this on? That looks like hat hair.
There were wigs, there was bleaching that at first I really could not figure out, and like it wasn't until the end of the episode, like I was just like, why do they look so dusty? And then I like Googled it, and I was like, oh, so Khanyi.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's Khanyi. I know how to spell it, but I don't know how to say it. So Khanyi, she has actually admitted to it. She's just like, it's just like changing your hair. She's like kind of like changing your skin color is just like changing your hair. So I'm here changing my skin, and I don't care.
So, and the thing is, like when they had Annie's like party thing, because she was doing her nuptials or whatever, redoing the nuptials, those IVs are specific to changing the skin color. Yeah. And you have to keep getting them. And I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that when I was looking it up. I was like, oh, wow, like there's a whole thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so she very clearly was bleached. I think also, what's her face? Zari?
Yeah. But like...
Zari looked like she was light-skinned, but she also looks like she bleached her light skin.
Yeah. Just a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit. And it's just kind of
she had that dusty cast that you have when you do the bleaching.
Oh, that's so weird. So like probably Zari was like my complexion, and she just kept getting lighter.
Yeah, that's what I think happened. But no, like Khanyi she was a brown skinned woman, like very brown. I saw before pictures. She was like real brown.
Oh my God, that is so weird. I'm gonna have to Google that. Like all the women of the show for the most part were very beautiful, but like that's disturbing to me that like our fellow Black people are like lightening their skin because of like what the culture, like that just that I'm very disturbed in this moment.
I talked to one of my friends too, and she was like, she knew immediately. It took me a few episodes. I was like, is it bad makeup or what is it? But like she knew immediately, and she was like, it looks like those people downtown in Jamaica that be doing that shit. And she was like, she's Jamaican, by the way. I'm not slandering anybody. She was just like, you know, it looks like that. And then she was like, it looks like Vibes Cartel. And I was like, okay, you're right. It does. It very much looks exactly like that. Of that extreme bleaching, or the Sammy Sosa of it all.
Child, Sammy Sosa looked like he was dead. I'm sorry. Sammy looked dead.
And that's how I felt about Khanyi. I felt like she just had that cast on her skin, and I was just like, it doesn't look natural. So I couldn't decide if it was like she was using the wrong foundation, or if it was like I came to find out it was actually just bleaching.
I'm like, that shit is crazy. The other one of my favorites on the show, even though she was like petty for like a minute or two as it relates to Zari. Zari, I loved. And the girl that dated Vic Mensa, what is her name?
Oh yeah, I liked her, but she wasn't really involved enough.
Because she's an artist, so she was like,
Yeah.
traveling or whatever the case. But like Nadia Nakai, that's her
Yeah.
name. I started following her. Beautiful. She didn't appear to be someone that was out here trying to do the bleaching of the skin, but she did have an IV also. So I don't really know, because Nadia is like my complexion. So I'm like, what do you need to like? Just be you. Her wig, well, not all of them was cute. I was about to tell a lie, because when she had the fake faux lock, the blonde ones, I was like, child, now what the hell is going on here?
Like, what is happening here?
Can we please get with the cousins in the US that be making wigs look like natural hair? Just get you a couple of them made, so that way y'all can still have this look, but like it looks better than that. So the controversy of this show with the women is the beef with Zari. Zari's nickname, it might come from Instagram, because I really don't know, but her Instagram is Zari the Boss or something like that. The Boss Lady. Yeah. And so apparently she's got several businesses. She's, runs like a empire, multi-million-dollar empire. And she's doing this all as a single woman, as a mother of 5 at that too.
Oh, I didn't know she had that many kids. Jesus Christ.
Yes. They showed her older children in like 1 or 2 of the photos or whatever.
Okay.
But the whole thing, I just didn't understand why everybody had so much beef with her. Like, it just seemed very contrived. It did not seem like it was a realistic beef, especially with Nadia and her. Like, why you don't like somebody based off of their baby daddy who is lying to you?
Yeah. I wasn't offended by Zari. I felt like with her, and we've had a conversation before about frenemies, I'll link it above. But I felt like with her and Khanyi, it was very like, Khanyi felt like she was the queen bee, and she felt very like
threatened by Zari's.
Threatened. That's the right word. Threatened by Zari coming in and being like, "Oh, thank you for coming on my trip." And it's like, she did plan the trip. She planned the trip. It was her trip.
Yeah.
And like, that's one of those things of like, in Housewives lore, I watch tons of Housewives. It's like, there's always the pitch. We know it's a group trip. We know Bravo pays for it. We know like all of those things, but they always say, "Oh, I'm inviting you to blah, blah, blah." And they play like it's that person's trip and like they have planned it. And that is the whole thing. So I was like, wow, you really mad about that. Like,
and for what? It made no sense.
And for what?
Like, all of a sudden it was so much drama to the point that it like damn near not damn near, it separated the whole group.
Separated the group.
And Zari was on the safari truck with DJ Naked and the white girl, I don't remember her name. And it was just kind of like, even they were like, I don't understand what all the beef was or what all the dramatics were about, considering that like this is a trip that you invited us all on. And like you said, like it could have very well been paid for by Netflix or whatever the production company was that did it. But nonetheless, I feel like because they're all, like millionaires and whatever the case, they had something to do with the planning of the event. Because I want to say that they ended up going somewhere that was like familially related to Zari, like where her people are from or something like that. And I'm just like, I could be making that up, but I thought that's what it was. But it was just like, what the hell? And then, not that we are bringing the guys in this episode, but then for them to be on the train and Swanky, the designer, or fashion, what was he? Not designer. What did he do?
Like a stylist, I think.
A stylist, yeah. The way he flipped out and like tried to put everything on DJ Naked and his girlfriend and Zari, like it was their fault that they caused the dissension. And it's like, no, actually.
It was very strange. It was very, very strange. And then like the other thing that really irritated me was like Khanyi and her, how she switched. So at first, like her and Zari were besties. Yeah. And she was like dragging Annie because Annie was like, "Oh, we'll get there."
Well, but like, Annie came in with the smoke from out jump.
She did, but also she was like, my husband has these outside kids, and like she was breaking down at the party when she was talking to Slinky, I think it was.
No,
And or Andale. Okay, yeah, she was talking to Andale at the party, and she was like breaking down, and Khanyi was kind of like, well, you should never let somebody know your weaknesses right up front. And then at the end, that's your bestie. And I was just like, no, you just need a flunky. And Zari wasn't going to be your flunky. So you needed somebody who was going to be under thumb. And Annie was going to be that person for you.
Facts. Because clearly Nadia was not going to be in attendance. This was like, I'm going to America.
Yeah.
Like she left to go spend like a month with Vic and then came back and it was broken up. And I'm like, yeah. Damn. He's such a Gemini because he should have wiped her from his Instagram. I remember seeing her all over his Instagram. And then when I looked during the show, she is nowhere to be found on that bitch. I said, ooh, Gemini is petty.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty normal thing to do, especially if your ex is about to be on TV. And I would probably have done the same thing. But so there was that. The last thing I kind of wanted to talk through was for me is Annie just really bothered my spirit. I know a lot of people felt bad for her, but I was just like, you can't be like loud and also wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, your relationship is a disaster, but you also want to pipe up about other people's relationships. You have admitted your relationship is a disaster. So, like, which one is it, sis?
Hello.
And like this whole idea of like, the conversation she was having with Zari about, oh, you're just a baby mama. And I'm like, yeah, because she has sense enough to leave people who are cheating on her and having outside children on her.
Hello. And he got a whole bunch of illegitimate children, according to her.
5.
One of which he don't even, one of 5. Which he's like, he don't even know for sure if that child is his.
At least 5.
That's what he said.
Yeah. And then she was kind of like, oh, you can't keep a man. And I'm like, girl, the one you have is not worth keeping, if we're being honest.
Hello? Because he ain't never home, according to you. And every time you turn around, like Swanky pointed out that she was Googling her own husband to find out where he was and what he was doing. Like, sis.
So I don't know, like she just rubbed me the wrong way. Like I felt bad for her because obviously she's been through some stuff, but it seemed like a lot of that was self-inflicted. And it also seemed like a lot of, because honestly, she said her child is like his 4th or 5th, like her oldest child is like, he was having kids on her before she had children. So I was like, girl, you could have left.
But she got used to that lifestyle just like American women do.
It's true. And then it's like
her whatever his name is, innocent. He's the African version of Future.
I would go along with that. But yeah, I was just like, her attitude.
He's disrespectful though.
Yeah. I was just like, her attitude about these women and feeling like she's like higher than them because she's been married. It's like, girl, are you?
The shambles, girl.
Are you? Because it felt to me like Zari had made the better decision.
Hello. Honestly, I feel like everybody just had issues with Zari and I just didn't. So this is like something that I just thought about. This is like some random old Black people.
Oh dear.
I don't know if it's like folklore or knowledge, but there's some truth to it either way, because I've seen it. So like, you know, like your great aunties and the grandparents used to be like, when the baby this is terrible. Please do not hold this to me. This is just some shit that my elders have given me. But they would say that like when the baby is born, that you can see the baby and adult, doesn't matter, but I'm just using a baby as an example. When a baby's born, babies tend to come out, you know, super bright skinned, but you can see what tone they actually are going to be by the knuckle skin and the ears.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's got to be something that's come out of like slavery. Honestly, I feel like it. Like,
sure, probably.
But so looking at Zari, because Zari has really big ears, like little, not big, they just stick out. And so like, I feel like it was because, you know, like all over the world, anywhere there's Black people, there's some sort of like colorist or
Colorism.
colorism thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
almost feel like, because I don't think Zari did the, whatchamacallit, I almost feel like part of it was they don't like her because she's of lighter complexion, and then other people have given her notoriety or put her on this pedestal that she didn't necessarily ask to be put on, but she's on it. And so now there's all this beef with all of the women, Annie, not Zari, Annie, Khanyi, and Nadia. And then the white girl was just kind of there chilling.
I don't know. I think Zari is just like the way she carries herself, it rubs people the wrong way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But like sometimes when you're just like confident and you just walk into the room like, you know, like you're the shit, it can rub people the wrong way. It's not your problem, it's their problem because they are, you know, it's a reflection more on them than it is on you. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's what this situation is. It feels like she just rubbing them the wrong way.
And then like all the commentary about like, because they've had conversations about appearance, which is where like I'm coming from, and I'm just like, I don't know, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I didn't find her to be offensive at all. Like she seemed like she was minding her business, and these women were just annoyed with her.
Yeah,
off rip, and I couldn't figure out what that was. So it seemed like they was just, I mean, for lack of a better word, it seems like they was just being haters to me. But
for sure, like absolutely what you said, like she just has an air of confidence about her, and she comes into the room, and it doesn't help that she's also, because I feel like this sounds so problematic, but it's something that happens. Like those who appear to be racially ambiguous or lighter complected, it's like a light shined on them because of how society is, not because, you know, I feel like I'm better because I'm this complexion, but like the confidence, the societal ignorancies that are passed on people, and all the just her just being herself come together, it's problematic.
Like, oh yeah, you come in the room thinking you're this and that, like that sort of energy.
Find something to dislike her about or attribute to her for her just being in existence, and that is old and tired.
It's very tired. So that was pretty much it. That was all I had on the women. Did you have anything else on the women of this show?
Oh, let's talk about Kanye's daughter living next door.
Oh, I forgot about this.
That's why her and Annie had beef.
No.
That I'm especially if the child if you enter her dwelling through your own home, like literally you had to go down the hall. No,
I would say it's different if it was like you said, if there was a door between the two, and you kind of like left her over there to her own devices. But even
like that's her wing.
Yeah, that is like right, exactly, like that's her wing. But this idea that your child lives independently down the hall, and like honestly, this isn't even about like the conversation about her, you know, saying like she was fine with her daughter having sex when she was ready, just being protective, and I think that's fine. Like I think that's an okay conversation to have. But like, you don't know who's coming and going.
That don't know who's coming and going. Don't know what the hell going on, period. Like what she's doing in there.
Could be a man in there. It could be like not a teenage boy. It could be like a grown-ass man in his 40s down there with your daughter. Even if you have the freest thinking, I can't imagine you want a 40-year-old down there with your 15-year-old.
Right. I also feel like too that I feel like that her parenting in that way, like having her daughter have her own home and space or whatever the case may be, comes out of Kanye's own trauma.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like I know, like back to like the old people sayings, like if you have a teenage daughter in the home, and this is some ignorant shit, by the way, but having a teenage daughter in the home and having a man in the home that is not that child's father, like you don't, some of my friends have told me about experiences that they've had where like their mom would blame them for just being in existence, being themselves, and the stepfather or the boyfriend looking at them in a way that is inappropriate.
Or you need to go put some clothes on, you need to cover yourself up, like you can't walk around your home comfortably. You make sure that you're in loose fitting clothes and all of that stuff. And I agree that that's incredibly ignorant. But like the idea that you would choose your daughter, like why that nigga ain't down the hall? I'm sorry. Why
I
he
mean,
ain't down the hall in his own
yeah,
apartment and you can tip your ass down there when you want to be with him?
because it makes me wonder, like, how long you've been in this relationship with this younger man, and how long that your daughter has lived, and like, what is the time frame? Because it's giving me very much a mother that does not want her man to be enticed by her teenage daughter.
Yeah, it was. It
And
was. And that
because
was
the boyfriend
disturbing.
was like in his 20s, maybe late 20s, but like early 20s, maybe. Who the fuck knows? Because he never said 2 words the whole show.
He really did not. I just did not know why he was not down the home. Like why you would, and it's basically, to me it reads like you're choosing your child. You're choosing a man over your child.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Very much
whether or
so.
not, whether you are trying to spin it as you're giving your daughter freedom to make her own choices and all of this stuff, when she gets older, she is going to say, my mother put a man before me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she is going to feel.
Mm-hmm. Because even the baby was like, yeah, mom, it's just really not traditional for like for me to be in my own apartment. And it's like,
No.
I respect the relationship that they have in terms of her daughter being able to speak to her freely about whatever is going on in her life.
Yeah.
That part of it I think is dope, because you've given your child a level of autonomy to be who it is that they are and not be ashamed of who they're being or becoming at this time in their life.
Yeah.
I think that is great because it's an open door. And I think that it probably will always be an open door.
Yeah.
But at the same token, like I'm not here to like bash anybody's parenting. I just have so many questions, like, because I don't know that I just go back to like the not wanting your teenage daughter to entice the husband. I feel like it's an undercurrent of that.
Yeah,
Or
I absolutely agree with you.
wanting to appear as though you don't have children, like that movie from the 80s, Mommy Dearest, where the kids was fucking upstairs in the attic.
It was like, yeah, it rubbed me the wrong way. I think you can have an open relationship with your daughter and you can have a very open door policy without having her live down the hall. Like she still needs you. She still needs guidance. She still needs, and also like, this is
her
like,
father.
yes. And also this is like a very practical sort of thing. Like if I'm one of her daughter's friends' parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, we're gonna go to daughter's house. And it's like, well, who's gonna be there? Is there gonna be a parent there watching? No, she lives by herself. Huh? No, you're not going over there. You're never going over there. God bless. You're never going. You are never going. She can come over here.
What? That I
She
think also here. Too, though, like that speaks to the similarities in the different states or countries in Africa and how they parent their children as it relates to the people that we're talking about this, how they parent their children is similar to Black people here in America. Yeah. Like, no, you ain't just about to be out here all willy-nilly and I don't know what the hell going on. We're not doing that.
Like
I was very much understanding of where Annie and Andale were coming from, because Andale also has like 4, 5, 6 children. Who knows?
He got a bunch of kids too. Just like, no. Like from my understanding,
problematic.
Yeah, from my understanding, from just having a couple like West African friends, and also just like from the internet, essentially.
Yeah.
They weren't even allowed to go sleep over at a friend's house. So the idea that you about to be having your own place at 15 is crazy.
It's very weird. Like she is very much going against maybe I don't want to generalize it and say African tradition.
Yeah, of course.
Y'all know what I mean.
I just think it's going
like
against
the culture,
parent tradition, Black parent traditions across the diaspora. Like, I don't know.
That's just so weird. And then the other thing is the young Black and famous. The only person that was kind of young on there was Khanyi's boyfriend. Everybody else was in their 30s and probably 40s.
Annie looked like she was in her 40s.
Deep into the 40s at that.
Yeah.
I mean, don't misunderstand. That good Black don't crack and be looking young as hell. I get it all the time.
Yeah, but she looked like good Black don't crack. But when people be putting you through a bunch of shit, that cracks. And she looked like she been through some shit. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh, y'all.
But that's it. I think
y'all have watched the show and we have not given you spoilers, but we probably should have said that at the beginning. If you ain't watched this yet, but either way,
I'll put it down in the description box. Spoiler alert. All right, we're gonna move on. So catch us next time. Catch the next episode where we're gonna talk through the men of young, famous, and African. And until then, like, comment, subscribe, and follow us everywhere. All of the information is down below in the description box.
Yes. Bye, y'all.